Hello and welcome to BharatShakti.in. I'm Brigadier Chatterjee. We're going to be talking about the visit of the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, to the United States. It was a state visit, one of those rare ones that the President of the United States hosted for him. There have been a slew of agreements on various subjects, but we'll not go into the whole range of it. We'll confine it to the defense forces, and in that, I'll confine it to the Navy. The Navy is perhaps one of the biggest beneficiaries of this particular thing. To take us through the paces, I have with me Vice Admiral Ravneet Singh. He's been the Deputy Chief of Naval Staff, currently retired and a veteran. He's the one who's going to give us the details of how the Navy benefits from this particular visit. Welcome to Bharat Shakti, Vice Admiral.
Thank you very much.
Admiral, if you are comfortable, I'll start with my first question.
Yeah.
The first issue is, of course, about MQ-9, which was always expected and has come through. Tell us the whole story, actually, how you leased it, how you saw it was so useful, and what are numbers that you're now going to get, the whole story about MQ-9 acquisition.
Yeah, okay. I think, first of all, I must say that it's been a huge achievement getting the state-of-the-art machinery today. And we have been operating MQ-9As, which we have taken on lease, and the lease should be expiring sometime in 24. But the point is that these MQ-9As and what we are going to get, we are going to get as MQ-9B. And MQ-9B is a different machine altogether. Looks-wise, they might look the same, but it's a different machine. And just to tell you the subtle differences between the two, that MQ-9A has a wingspan, which I understand is about 66 feet, and here the wingspan is much more than 66 feet, and the aerodynamics, the airframe is different. And MQ-9A, we got it under the COCO model, company operated, company owned, and that is with General Atomics. So, and this MQ-9B, we became only, it's because it's a MTCR Cat 1 item. So we got became eligible after we have been a signatory to MTCR. So that is why these gates have opened for MQ-9B. Now MQ-9B would be a contract through the foreign military sales. And this is through the direct commercial sales with General Atomics USA. The present 9A, what we operate, it has just got the basics. It doesn't have the SIGINT element equipment, because to be eligible to get that equipment, you have to be eligible for MQ-9B. And MQ-9B also we benefited because we have signed those agreements of COMCASA and BECA. So that makes us eligible for these technologies also. But coming back to MQ-9A, what we operated, it's just a basic MQ-9, which had got a AIS, EOIR, not EOIR-L, because the MQ-9B has got a EOIR-L. L stands for the laser equipment.
If you can just explain these terms in a little more detail than just the abbreviations.
Yeah, okay. So it's got a basic radar, but the one what we are going to get for MQ-9B is going to be a customized maritime patrol radar. Present MQ-9A doesn't have hard points, so that we don't have it. It is not armed. Whereas MQ-9B, since we are eligible, because which I earlier mentioned that we have achieved those being part of the foundational agreements, so we get the weapons also along with the MQ-9B. MQ-9B, more endurance, and it can fly in better, it can fly into bad weather conditions also, because it's got the equipment, it's got the de-icing equipment, other advanced equipments also. So I feel that MQ-9B is a good buy, and as compared to a 9A. And just to dwell further, this MQ-9A we have flown for close to about, in the period of the lease, we've flown close 12,000 hours plus. Now, 12,000 hours plus, if you work it into time, it works out about 15 hours per day. And when I do my calculations that how much does it cost to fly a P-8I? Because you see, P-8I was, we used P-8I, IL-38 or Tu-142 long time back for the surveillance and ASW purpose also. But P-8I, now we are relying totally on the P-8I P-8I is one aircraft which is very, very highly capable aircraft, and it's best used for the ASW purpose. Now, the cost of flying an MQ-9A for 1 hour is just a few thousand rupees, whereas when cost of flying a P-8I for surveillance purpose, it comes down to a few lakh rupees. So you see the cost difference, and MQs can stay in the air for, let's say, close to 40 hours. MQ-9B and MQ-9A could stay close to 30 hours plus in the air. So you can well imagine that, and especially if you have to go far off distances, like if you look at the choke points, Malacca, Sunda, Mumbai Vitar, Lombok. Now, sending a P-8I, yes, you do achieve something, but the time on task is not adequate. And especially when you see a MQ-9 goes, and there he has a time of task of 8 hours, 10 hours, depend on what distance he goes. So it's a game changer, I would say, this MQ-9.
You said they're also armed, like the previous ones were not armed.
Yes.
MQ-9Bs are
yes,
armed. Now, so that means it's able to pick up a particular target which is of interest to you and also engage the target.
Yes, because what I'm saying is that earlier what we had a capability was ISR, that is intelligence, surveillance, acquisition of target and reconnaissance. Now today you have ISR plus T. T means you can target. You can target it also. So which is a huge benefit.
Now, like you're talking about the P-8I, we've got the MQ-9 also now, and you have the MH-60R helicopters. They also perhaps have a reconnaissance role and other reconnaissance elements that we have. Is it possible to put the picture together, picked up by various elements of your reconnaissance?
Especially you see today that we are talking about a man-unmanned teaming. So when you talk about man-unmanned teaming now, I would take it further that we have got P-8I, we got MH-60R, you got C-17, C-130, you got Apache helicopters, you got Chinook helicopters, and they come from the same stable I would say that they come from US. So it's a big advantage that your compatibility is there, and then when you talk about coordination, it will be quick coordination, will not have any issues in integration, and when you talk about manned-unmanned teaming, that it becomes, the whole game becomes very simple because they come from they are very, very compatible aircrafts. I would take you a step further, that since a lot of equipment is common to what is being flown by our Quad countries, the members of the Quad, so this gives us a huge advantage when we do the bilateral exercises with the Quad countries also.
Operationally also, if required, I guess that same advantage is there.
Yes, same advantage there. Again, I would say that I would just give an example that the MQ-9B, what we are going to get, is going to have a ASW sonic suit also. So a sonic suit in the sense that she is able to monitor the sonobuoys. The sonobuoys are the same sonobuoys which you will use for a P-8I, the same sonobuoys which you use for MH-60R, and the same sonobuoys can be picked up by the MQ-9B. So when once you laid a sonobuoy barrier or you laid the sonobuoys, P-8I is on task, and when the P-8I goes off task, that is the time MQ-9 can come on task and start monitoring.
They can relieve each other for
They can relieve each other, and then the live feed is available to you in the various ops rooms.
Right. We've seen a lot of Chinese presence these days in the Indian Ocean region by and large. So you think this kind of capability that we've built up, it will help us more in monitoring their movements in the Indian Ocean region, as also perhaps would it serve as some sort of a deterrence that they reduce their movements?
One thing is for sure that the way we have been operating today, no Chinese ship on surface gets undetected. And we have had underwater detections also. Work is in progress, and I'm sure the day will come that all the underwater subsurface contacts will also get detected. Now, to say that deter them, I don't think so that it will deter them. But during peacetime, that whenever you come into our region, Indian Ocean region, they will be on their toes because they know that somebody is watching them at every step. Then each movement is getting detected. So they will be on their toes and be wary that their position is being compromised. And I'm quite happy that the more the people come, we can detect them and we get more information, which again, if you talk about the future is all warfare which is based on AI and BDA. So once you have the data, obviously the applications for algorithms, for AI, BDA, they all change and you can use it to your advantage.
Well, a subtle amount of response, you said, is inbuilt in the system, in the sense the MQ-9 also carries its own weapon loads.
Yeah.
But by and large, now you'll have a very fine surveillance picture, as I said,
Absolutely,
of the region that we are interested in. What about the capability to respond to this particular surveillance picture that is available to you now?
So once you have the complete surveillance picture, in maritime parlance, I would say the maritime domain awareness. Once you have a high degree of maritime domain awareness, obviously that in the conventional terms we talk about the sense of the shooter, the time, the OODA loop. People talk about the OODA loop, that observe, orient, decide and act, those loops. So you are already on top of the game. You are already monitoring them and you are already doing your calculations. And so, you are monitoring them throughout. Let's say tomorrow when the balloon goes up, you are very ready to respond. Today when you see that all our platforms, nearly plugging about 200 to 250 days at sea, all the platforms. So there is a platform always available nearby. And especially now you see the capability, what this platform gives us is over the horizon targeting. And over the horizon targeting, I would just explain that you're on the ship, your radar is limited by the horizon. And based on the policies, at times you don't transmit on your radar because your position gets compromised. So in order to avoid that, if you have a MQ-9 in the 9B in the air, or I would say P8I in the air, they feed the live data to you. And you really don't have to worry, because he is giving you the EOIR picture also. And with the EOIR picture, they have ways and means of detecting what type of warship it is. So you're very clear in your mind that you're not going to commit any fratricide, or you're going to hit a friendly foreign country ship or a merchant ship. So you have your targeting coordinates available, and now today the ranges, and I can say in the next couple of years, you see the way our scientists are working, the way our people are working, the ranges of the weapons we have is going to increase phenomenally. So you can today maybe 800, 900,000, 1,000 kilometer plus. So you're not talking from those sort of ranges where you can engage a target.
Right, P8I shouldn't be so difficult to, perhaps, as I understand, we just not got the stealth characteristics once it's flying. But what about the MQ-9? Will it be as easy to detect an MQ-9 as any other aircraft, or will it be more
it has got inbuilt stealth characteristics, and you see that the airframe is largely composite. So it has that inherent, and plus you have the paint and the aerofoil designs and all. It has the inherent stealth characteristics. And you see, you just don't send him on top. He's there and he knows which are the enemy ships, and and he always calculates the danger area around the ship that he should not enter. Otherwise, he will be I would say that he will be facing the danger of the surface-to-air missiles what we has, or if it is an aircraft carrier, then the fighters which are the complementing him. So he has already done the calculations, and the operators always keep him out.
Okay.
So that based on that, then if the weapon is not within weapon release range, then alternative methods are being used. Either a surface platform will be used, or a subsurface platform will be used, or a strike package of fighters will come and take on the target. So MQ-9B has a lot of, let's take it that MQ-9B doesn't have it has an offensive role, but it has other roles also, which can be non-military roles also, like HADR, search and rescue, and even mapping the land borders during peacetime. Change detection, that is one of the big capabilities which we are going to have. Because I give you an example, you fly along the border in the early morning, 9 o'clock, you get a picture, and then again, let's say you fly again in the evening, you get a picture. The computer, the algorithms, do the calculation, what has changes taken place, and based on that, you get that these changes have taken place. That's a huge big plus.
Right, we'll go a little beyond the MQ-9 and will your aircraft, etc. You've got that Information Management Analysis Center, they're possibly in Gurgaon. And there are officers from other countries also who have been deputed there, as I do understand from press reports. Now, the kind of analysis that they do, the kind of information feed that they get, can this also be used at some stage for operational purposes?
No, you see that IMAC is a very good concept which took off, and today everything infrastructure is in place. IMAC has got another subset, that is the IFC IOR, that is the Information Fusion Center, Indian or IOR region. And when you say that we have some officers from the friendly foreign countries, we call them the liaison officers. And as I speak, we have what, a dozen of officers from the friendly foreign countries. They are all naval officers. They are in IFC IOR. They, at the moment, IMAC is looking at the white shipping, that is your merchant shipping, all the shipping which they get inputs from AIS, they get inputs from the vessel traffic management system, they get inputs from the coastal radar, and they get inputs from the people with whom they have signed the white shipping agreements. So they get that information, and in addition, you do get information on the grey hull ships also. So all this information comes to IMAC, but when it comes to grey hull ships, it is looked after by IFC IOR. And
what do you exactly mean by grey hull?
Grey hull is all the warships.
Warships.
Yeah. So they are looked after by the IFC IOR, and even the ops rooms in the commands and even the ops room, the war room, naval headquarters keeps a track of this. So the next step is going to be that we are going to have NDMA and NMDA, that is the National Maritime Domain Awareness Agent setup. So when you have the whole setup, then the whole picture will get infused. So only people who are required to know will inputs will be given to them.
It will be need to know basis.
It's a need to know basis, because that they do monitor any signals on anti-piracy, on any SOS calls. They are immediately picked up by them, and they also get activated that. So even they are helping the coastal police, they're helping the customs people. So it's a very, very robust system, and it is progressed very well. And I'm sure that with every passing day, with the changing technologies, they are going to get set up even better every passing day.
Right. I think we'll call it off on this note, our discussion, Admiral. Thank you so much. It's been very kind of you to spare your time for Bharat Shakti.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, viewers. Thanks for tuning in to BharatShakti.in. Do tune in like this now and then, and you will find such interesting stories. Also go to our social media pages. Thank you.